All right. What's happening, guys? So this video is pretty crazy. I just had to do a quick review on this one. So let's watch it and then we'll talk about it. There's construction up ahead. This driver on the right is trying to merge over into the traffic. The current driver is driving. I'm interested to know who was at fault for that accident there. What do you think? Is it the person merging who needs to yield, or is it the person driving in the lane being merged into that needs to yield? And does that play a factor here? All right. So let's talk about that. As previously mentioned, guys, like I said, who is right or wrong, and does that even matter for traffic related incursions like this? So, in my opinion, if you're changing into the lane, then yeah, it's ultimately your duty to yield. But at the same time, I also let people in whenever I can. However, you see here the guys hit the brake pretty fast in front of him, so this guy's speeding up on the right, which is not a passing lane, and you shouldn't be speeding up towards a construction site anyways if you're going to have to get over, unless absolutely necessary. But in this instance, you see traffic stopped, so I don't even think this guy was being a dick. I think that he was just adjusting to the traffic pattern. Now, this guy straight up hits his car. If you were to do something like this to me, I would immediately assume that you are an idiot and probably capable of being a stupid and reckless threat. So I'm definitely going to be taking this really serious as we get ready to go into this traffic stop, because that's just a total dick move. So immediately, this guy pulls over to look and assess what the damage was. But I don't know. I get the vibe that this dude was driving aggressively in front of him, like pulls over very aggressively as if he's pissed, like that. I don't know. To me, maybe that's just me, but I feel like that was a pretty I'm going to fuck this dude up turnover. So now this is one of the major decision points, guys, when it comes to concealed carry and these types of road rage incidents. The moment you pull over, what is the distance you have from that vehicle in front of you? Because guns are distance weapons, and if you know how to shoot, then the further you are, the greater chance and opportunity you have of keeping you and your family safe. So watch the distance between you and that other person. I'd say 20 yards would be sufficient to start off this engagement. Also, I'm looking at the oncoming traffic, my ability to quickly divert out as we're pulling over. I want to see what is going on around me. Do I have a whole stack of cars coming? Do I have something that might be open, a semi truck, and then a gap? Whatever it is, it's not going to be guaranteed if I do need to jet out of there, but it at least starts to build my situational awareness, the spatial awareness as well, of the physical world that is literally around me. But now I'm starting to give myself exits in case of a high risk, high stress situation that might develop. The other thing I'm looking for is his hands, waist, face. I'm not even going to put this car necessarily in park, especially if I have an easy out. Now, if it's just a wall of traffic and I don't really have any out, I would take my chances shooting at somebody versus running my car up on them and having them shoot. Especially because when you look at ballistics and the gun is close to the vehicle, less deviation of that round, or when there's more distance, there's greater deviation of the round. So if they do shoot into my car and I do have my family with me, then I'm also giving them some sort of a chance of survival if it is a well placed shot. But that could also bite you in the ass because a shitty shot could turn and deflect and end up hitting somebody you love, a family member. So keep good distance because then they'll be less likely to accurately hit anything. The third thing is hands, waist, face. The moment that somebody starts stepping out of their car, I'm looking hands, waist, face, and I probably already have my gun drawn here. Let me backtrack. I would have had my gun drawn the moment this asshole comes slamming into me. That tells me that you're obviously an idiot and capable of being reckless and dangerous. So I want to have my handgun out in case they start doing something crazy at that point in time while we're still driving. So my handgun is probably already out. The vehicle may or may not be in drive. I'm already scanning on my exit lanes to see what options and opportunities I have. And I'm looking now with my gun still internal, with my door cracked open, hands, waist, face. The moment that I see this guy jump out and do this, he gets out, again, very quickly, but watch what hand he closes the door with. He reaches over his whole body unnaturally and closes the door with his left hand. Why? Because it's his support hand, his non-dominant hand, and he clearly has his dominant hand on something inside of his pocket. I would have drawn my gun at that point in time because that is so freaking sketch. You just crash into my car, you pull over aggressively, pull over, you get out all aggressively, and now you have your right hand in your pocket and you're awkwardly closing that door with your left hand. Something tells me that this dude probably has his hand on a weapon of some kind. So I'm actually probably already going to be drawing on this dude right here. And if he does go to draw his gun, guess what? He's got his door in his way and he's trapped in a fatal funnel. So I'll be able to stop and neutralize that threat very quickly, very aggressively, especially if I have my family with me. So he walks over after just so awkwardly closing that door. He immediately gets aggressive. And look, this guy doesn't have much of an out if he did want to take off because you get these sporadic traffic patterns. Now, coming all the way up on me like that is a huge no. I would have probably drawn down again, hand in the pocket, coming out aggressively. Remember, 3 potentially harmful behaviors, guys. This dude crashed into your car, pulled over aggressively, got out aggressively, hand is in his pocket, closes the door with the left hand. These are all potentially harmful behaviors. And once we reach 3, there's like a 90+% probability of something bad going down. So I would have never let this guy get anywhere close to me. Not like this dude did, let alone turn my back to him while he's yelling at me. It almost looks as if though this guy was contemplating shooting this dude in the back of his head, but maybe couldn't get the gun out of his pocket on time. It really, for whatever reason, to me, looks like that. You know, it's almost like he's staying right behind him, looking at him, waiting for his opportunity. Can't get the gun out on time. Finally gets it out, and then it looks like he punches him, but he actually pistol whips him, guys. And you can see right there the line or the outline of the pistol. So that is his hand. And then here's the pistol. So this dude turned around, which was a huge mistake. Looks at his car, and then he gets pistol whipped, bam, right in the front and in the side of the face. That would be a pretty harsh hit. Absorbs it like what the heck, you know, we call that the reflex arc, that moment where it takes you to really absorb like what's taking place around you. Now this guy, the bad guy, goes to put his gun back in his hoodie pocket. This dude, I'm assuming, realized it was a gun and he just got pistol whipped. Given the totality of these circumstances, he just goes straight to draw his gun, which I totally 100% support. He's lucky he didn't get shot yet. So this guy goes to draw his gun, stays cool basically for the majority of the time. But now this dude's already got his hand on his gun, pulling it out. This is the importance, guys, of a sub 2-second draw. And I will have to do a different video breakdown. I think he did it under, might have been under a second, depending upon when you determine. Right here, so 44. 45, yeah, so about a 1.5 second draw from our guy here on the right, but the same thing for the guy here on the left. Now the big difference is who gets that shot off accurately and well first. This guy did. That first shot right there is what resulted in him winning this gunfight, guys. So a couple of key things here. Look at his draw and how sloppy it is, how his shirt's in the way. This is why we clear the obstruction, guys, and then get that high firm pistol grip down on that gun and then just rip it out, because now as you're punching out here, step 5 where he's at, you're getting multiple accurate shots on target, not just one. Multiple accurate shots on target as you chase them or trace them down to the ground. So get that shirt out of the way. He is a bigger dude, and I know my bigger guys do struggle with that. So overall, though, still get drawn. Now, look at his grip. If this was one of you guys, I would be pissed. Because when did we ever talk about doing some crazy stuff like that? Never. I'm joking, I wouldn't be pissed, but falling back to the greatest level of training you ever received, guys. This is one of this dude's default habits. He probably puts his finger maybe in front of the trigger guard or just does some weirdness with it. I don't even know. But he's got a horrible grip there, and he's very lucky that he got that first shot off. But he does adjust his grip back, it looks like maybe. So, good job getting back on that. And good job chasing the dude, too. Now, this dude in the truck back here totally saw what just went down. Watch this guy. Yeah, he slowed down. He was like, all right, I got to get out of here. Now, our Good Samaritan, the victim, he doesn't just start running around the car and playing this game of cat and mouse. That, guys, is just so risky. There's very little reason to ever do that because now it's a 50-50 shot. Who's going to sneak up on who? Who went which way accordingly? Guns are distance weapons. This dude does this remarkably well. He gets distance from the original point of impact, point of conflict, the X. Now this guy's playing a different, so they're playing two completely different games. Our good guy's playing bird's eye, eagle view. This dude's playing little mouse games. So he's trying to like crawl around the car, see if he could identify where the dude is at because he thinks he's running and he's going to sneak up on him. But this guy's all the way in the back of the right. So watch this. Yeah, he ain't playing around. 6 shots. However, how much did he just fire in total? Six, maybe five. Another 6. So this dude fires 11 or 12 shots. What does that say about your magazines? Carrying an extra mag, doing a mag reload. People always say, I've never heard of a civilian doing a mag reload in a self defense incident. This is a pretty good fucking example right here, if you ask me, but that's just my opinion. So, the guy does a great job, retreats back. The guy sees that he still has an active threat, so he shoots him several more times in order to stop that threat because it definitely is a threat. And I think this dude ended up dying. I'm not positive. I think that our victim was an undercover, or not an undercover, but an off-duty Milwaukee police officer. I think I just saw something about this in the news this morning, but I'm not positive, so don't quote me on that. This just happened on October 9th, 2025. And lastly, I just want to say, notice this guy's demeanor. Dude yelling at him, calling him a bitch. He's saying, "Hey, I'm in the lane, the effing lane." It wasn't like our victim was being aggressive towards this dude. He wasn't saying, "What's your problem?" or anything nuts like that. This dude was completely 100% aggressive the entire time. Ill-intentioned, preconceived ill-intention. He pulled his weapon out, had his hand on it whenever he exited the vehicle. This dude essentially got what was coming to him, as unfortunate as that is. Man, I feel like there's a lot more to break down in this case study, but I'm just going to leave it there at that, guys. We can talk about what do you do afterwards. Get the hell out of there. Call 911. This is my name. I'm located at this intersection or wherever I'm at. I was just involved in a self-defense incident. I'm the victim. This is what I'm wearing. I'm heading to my attorneys. I'll call you back as soon as I can. Hang up. Call your attorney. I'm calling my guy Dave. Dave McDermott from McDermott Law Group. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Have a great day.